Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be watching a video called The Best German Food, What to Eat in Germany. So I'm really excited for this video because I know that Germany has incredible food. Obviously they have like a huge amount of like sausages, but there's also I think like incredible like desserts. I do know like the German forest cake, I think that's what it called, like the one that has like the dark chocolate and the cherries. I think that one's delicious. There's like pretzels. Who doesn't love pretzels? So much beer. I don't know if these gonna include beer because is it a food? I don't know if beer can be considered food. And also incredible wines as well. So I don't know if that also considered food. I have no idea. But also like the potato salad, German potato salad, I think it's so good. And there's like even like sauerkraut. I really do like that. So I don't know, but super excited to check this out because I love German food. So let's check it out and comment, like, subscribe, and start.
Hungry travelers, Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're going to talk about the eats of Germany, or like the most German things that you should have when you're here. And you know what? We've got to start off with probably the most German of the Germaniness, the sausages, the Wurst.
Exactly.
Yes, there are lots and lots of bratwurst when you're here. There's lots and lots of sausage you can have when you're here, and you're going to have a lot, and you well should. Whether you're me, or you're my mom, or my kids, sausages reign when you're here, and probably the most important one to have is the Thüringer Bratwurst. So the Thüringer Bratwurst is just a type of bratwurst that you'll see on the street. People will be selling it in little stands, or you might see a person like carrying it
bigger than
like
the bun.
their backpack, and they're cooking it in front of them. But that is the definition of a perfect bratwurst. Now, what's cool is sometimes you can get it at a half-meter size, okay? So that can be a bit crazy. But Thüringer Bratwurst, that is your traditional bratwurst that you're used to and you know and that you're going to love with some Senf, some mustard on top. Now, there are a lot of other Wurst, a lot of other sausages when you're here. If you're down in Bavaria in the south, there's Weisswurst, or white sausage, which is really good, and they serve that with a sweet mustard and a pretzel, which is very nice. Now, if you're down in Nuremberg, Nuremberg's famous for their Nuremberger sausages, or the Nuremberger Wurst. And the thing is you might recognize a Nuremberger sausage when you see it because it looks like a breakfast sausage, okay? And the thing is, they're small and they're tiny, and if you go to Nuremberg, you get a plate, and they'll actually give you like a plate of 30 of them. But if you're walking around and have it, they'll give you a little bowl with 3 or 4 inside with some mustard. That's a great way to go, especially in Nuremberg. That is a must when you're there. And if you're in Berlin, you probably have the most popular one that's become like a super trend snack in Germany and other places around the world. You have Currywurst, which is curry sausage. Now, you may think, oh, it's a curry bratwurst? I'm like, no, it's a normal bratwurst. But what they do is they put curry spices into ketchup and make it a curry ketchup. And what they do is they chop it up and then they drown it in the curry ketchup and with some fries. It's fantastic. And honestly,
I want to try that sauce.
For some food thing to take back home from Germany, get some curry ketchup and take it home with you because that stuff is the bomb.
They sell it in like a bottle.
And sometimes you can actually find the good stuff at Aldi back in the US. So there is that for you. Now, if you're looking for more of your traditional like hot dog kind of sausage though, there's a lot of different names, a lot of different things that kind of go on there, but the closest one you're going to find is either a Frankfurter or a Bockwurst. Okay, those are two ones that are I feel resemble the closest to a
Why is the bun so small?
Wiener Wurst, or a Viennese sausage. You'll see those as well, but basically on the street, your sausage choice is going to be that Thüringer Bratwurst. That's going to be your go-to walk-around snack kind of thing. Great street food here in Germany, okay?
Now, so
moving away from our sausages, because, you know, Germans eat more than sausage, I think. Yes, they do. They eat a lot of pork as well.
Potatoes.
And pork and more pork when you're here. You can get a pork steak, a Schweinsteak. That's a popular cut of meat. But one that you'll see probably the most is actually schnitzel. And I know when you have schnitzel, traditionally schnitzel is made out of veal. But here in Germany, veal's more expensive, and so you have a lot of places that give you pork schnitzel. Well, sometimes you see chicken schnitzel, but it'll be a pork schnitzel, which is pork just beaten to a flattened thing. They bread it and fry it. It is super good, and there's a lot of different schnitzels you can have. My personal favorite is Jäger Schnitzel, which has mushrooms and cream sauce on top. Oh, so
creamy.
Good. So good. You can't go wrong with that. Other pork things you might want to have when you're here. When you go around, you might see a thing called frikadelle, which is basically, I would call it a meatball sandwich that you'll see the same places that sell you like the currywurst and bratwurst. They'll have those there. But the most important pork product here in Germany for me is Schweinehaxe, or basically you're calling it like pork shoulder
So
or
happy.
pork knuckle, you'll see that on there. And if you ever played a video game and they gave you like the ham hock kind of thing where it's the bone and the meat on it and it gives you all your energy back,
yeah.
that's what it is. And when you have one, you understand. And there's different ways you can have it. If you're in Berlin, they'll call it Eisbein, and it's like boiled, okay? But if you're in other parts, they put it on a grill and roast it around, and the fat and the
I think that
skin
one's
outside,
better.
it's all crispy and so good. Oh, you have to have it. Like, that is my go-to, okay? And in certain places, you can get Schäufle, which is kind of a similar cut as well. You'll see that we've had that a lot in Bamberg, but you don't see it all over the place. So, Schweinhaxe, go for it. Now, other meat dishes you might see, beef is here as well. You can get Sauerbraten, which basically says sour roasting, but basically it's a long cooked piece of meat, which is nice. Also, you can get a rolled up beef, Rindrouladen, which is basically beef rolled up with some stuff. That's actually a nice thing to have. I see that a lot on some like lunch menus. It's very popular around the country, but
yeah,
there's
like
plenty of meats. There's also plenty of fish you can have when you're here as well. But I think one of the other things that's important when you're here is the bread, okay? And yes, you can have a pretzel, and of course you want to dip this in mustard, by the way.
The
when you're
rye
here.
bread.
It's so good. And if you're having a big old beer,
Even better.
goes together perfectly. So you have that. But you'll notice around Germany, there's tons and tons of bakeries because they make fantastic
good.
breads. And mornings, breakfasts for you when you're here, you're going to have these little rolls, okay? They're called Brotchen, which is little bread, or Semmel, depending where you are and what kind of German they speak. And you'll have different kinds, like plain white bread versions, so you have multi-grain versions. My mom's favorite is this one that has pumpkin seeds on the top of it. Like, we search it out when we come to Germany, don't we, Mom? Like, to find it, because it's so good. But you'll have that, and I gotta warn you, when you have breakfast in Germany, it is going to be the rolls, and then you're gonna have cold cuts, like ham, cheese, salami, and slices of cheese, and probably hard-boiled or soft-boiled eggs. Like, that's traditional German breakfast. Like, that's what you're gonna have. And it's funny, because when Germans
It's very
travel to the
good.
US, a lot of times they'll complain to the hoteliers, we don't want pancakes and eggs and bacon. We want our Scheibe. We want our ham and cheese cuts with our bread.
Like savory
so just
things,
be aware
not
of that when
sweet.
you're here at restaurants and you're staying at hotels. And if you want to try some for breakfast that's a little more cereal based, go for the muesli. It's that mix of, like, you look at it and you're
The
like,
cereal's
I'm
so
going to be
good.
regular today after I eat this, okay? So you have that. Yogurt's also
No, it's
very
so
popular
good.
to have at breakfast time, so you do have that. But going back to the bread stuff, also if you go to the bakeries, you'll see they'll have all these pre-cut pieces of cake of all different kinds, okay? And I know we're here in the Freiburg, which is in the Black Forest. So you might think, oh, Black Forest cake. I'm like, yes, there is that. But for me, if you can get any kind of fruit cakes, not like fruit cake like you get at Christmas, but it's a cake that has a fruit topping on it.
The fruit on top.
That's always wonderful.
Yeah.
Germany is also great with Pfannkuchen, which are basically different kinds of fried dough with powdered sugar on it. And whatever size and form you can get it because they're amazing. And you have that. And the thing is, the bakeries are all over the country. You can grab stuff all during the day, have it for a snack. If you've got your kids, I recommend, if you're pushing around in a stroller, go get them a Brotchen, get them a roll. They'll gnaw on that for a couple hours while you go see the sights, so that's really nice, okay? And honestly, you can never go wrong with a good Apfelstrudel, right? So you have that. Now,
Oh my God,
looking
yes.
into the side
I love
dishes,
it.
which I think are very important, because for me, the side dishes here in Germany are some of the best things you have, because you have, traditional Kartoffelsalat, potato salad, and the very different versions they have it here. Sometimes you'll have it warm, sometimes you'll have it cold, sometimes you just want it all. You have that. You might have all these different versions of potatoes on the side. There's one that's called Bauernkartoffeln, which is like farmers' potatoes, which basically they're kind of sliced up and then kind of they're fried, not like French fries, but they're like fried up in a pan, which is really good.
Like-
a little speck, a little bacon in there. That's wonderful.
Like harder.
Also, you can look in for the noodles. Spätzle. Spätzle is a special kind of German noodle you'll have, and you can have it plain,
What's
or you can
that?
have Käsespätzle, which is cheese spätzle. Oh, that is a great side dish. I know some people enjoy the Knödel, which are dumplings. And the thing is, you can have potato dumplings, you can have bread dumplings, you can actually have liver dumpling. Like, liver dumpling soup is actually really good for a starter. You can do that.
What is
and,
that?
And Germany as well is when it's different seasons, different like veggies are in season, you can get so much. Like when strawberry season's in, there's a great
Of
things there. Or
course.
we're here now during Spargel season, asparagus season, white asparagus. Oh my gosh, if you're here and they have asparagus, eat it. The Germans love it, and they'll be mad if you don't have some. So definitely check that out when you're here. But let's be honest, what's the side dish we all know about from Germany? sauerkraut. Yes, you can get sauerkraut when you're here. And if you're not a big sauerkraut fan, my mom and I, we're not the biggest sauerkraut fans. We're actually big on rotkohl, which is that purple cabbage, that sweet purple cabbage with some apples in it. Oh, so good and so
It looks very
regular
good.
making, if you catch my drift. And then we have our drinks here in Germany. And obviously, the beer is a big thing here. But you have to realize there's lots of different kinds of beer. This is a Weizen
many.
beer or a wheat beer I have. You can get Pilsner beers, which are more like the beers you have in the U.S., like a Budweiser kind of like clear beer. Then you have Schwarzbier, black beer, which is a little bit sweet, like
black beer.
in the Guinness family. It's fantastic. Köstritze is a fantastic beer to have. You can have, well, actually, what I should tell you is, don't buy any beer specifically from Germany. When you're traveling around Germany, buy the local beer. So if you're in Berlin, you have Berliner Kindle. If you're here in Freiburg, you have Ganta. If you're in Bremen, you'll have Beck's. I'm like, people are very much regional beer drinkers here, and you'll notice the difference. That's why when people ask, what's the
Yeah, it's a
national
good-
beer of
yeah,
Germany?
that's a good-
Yeah, they're not, I mean, Warsteiner maybe, or Beck's, that's one that's all over the place. But people really have their local beer when you're here.
That's a good
So do that and
recommendation,
have
yeah.
that, because if you get the local Altbier, like in Dusseldorf, it's going to be very different. That's what people like to drink there. Versus if you're up in Flensburg and having Flensburger Pils in the north of Germany, okay? So something to be aware of. But what you need to realize, for alcohol, beer is not the only alcohol in Germany. There's actually a lot of great wine when you're here. If you go
Yes.
to the Mosel or the Rhine valleys, you can do wine tours there and go. I mean, it's so much fun. You get to learn about the wine, have the food to go along with it. It's a fantastic experience. I've taken students there. I've done by myself there. I've done with my parents there, my kids there. But the wine,
how many has he
white
taken?
wine is the best here. Riesling, it can be sweet or dry.
Riesling, yeah.
There's a lot of different versions of it, but that's the wine you want to have when you're here. Also, you can have what's called Apfelschorle. And this is a non-alcoholic drink. Yes, there are non-alcoholic
like
drinks
cider?
here in Germany, okay? Apfelschorle is basically take really good apple juice and put bubble water with it. That's what you have. Oh, this is, if you're hot in the summer, this is the refreshing thing that changes the day. So you want to have that. Also, you may wonder, Mark, can we drink the water in Germany? Yes, you can drink the water in Germany. How do you think they make such good beer?
Like bottled
Duh.
water?
And one thing is, you can drink the tap water just fine. The locals, though, they like to have Wasser mit Gas, water with gas. So they like their bubble water when they're here. So be prepared for that. If you just order water, they probably might bring you just bubble water. So you might want to ask for, Wasser
Blood.
ohne Gas, water without gas, or stilles Wasser, still water. And that'll help you out there. And with all this heavy food, you might wonder, Mark, how am I going to be able to sleep at night? How am I going to digest? Well, what's great is there's there's actually more, but there's two popular digestives here in Germany that, unfortunately, in the U.S., one of them has become more of a college drunk shot, but Jägermeister
Jaeger.
and Unterberger. Those are two shots that, honestly, if you have one of those heavy fat meals and you're like, oh, I feel horrible, have a shot of Jägermeister or have the little bottle of Unterberger, and it really does help your stomach digest, and you'll feel better really quickly. I didn't believe it, but I've had enough experience now that I totally do believe it, because I had some bad experience with Jägermeister back in college. So I tried to avoid it, but I was so ill one day, my buddy gave me a shot, and I'm like, after 5 minutes, I'm like, hey, I feel good again. So I hope this helps you know some of the things you can eat when you're here in Germany. If you're looking for some more international fare or things people don't think that's typical German, there's so much international food here in Germany. You can eat great Spanish food, great Italian food, because Germans really love food from all around the world. Great Indian food, obviously great Turkish food when you're here. You have a lot of Turkish immigration here. Probably the one thing you'll see the most that people have are doner kebabs. That's like my go-to snack when I'm out. If I want to have something on the go, it's the bread in there with the sliced up meat and the veggies and the sauce. Oh, Kreuz is also
So good.
so good. That's one of you had a few drinks. It's a good thing to finish off the night, sober you up, and help you sleep and have wonderful dreams of Germany. So I hope this helps you know some of the things you can eat and enjoy when you're here in Germany. Obviously, there are so many more fantastic foods and snacks here in Germany. Please put in the comment section below so we can have more fun foods to talk about and enjoy when we're in Germany or other travelers are there. And I'll say a special thank you to our patrons on Patreon and our members on YouTube. And I just want to say, if you want to help out, go to patreon.com/WaltersWorld to see how you can help out us to make more honest travel videos and honest food videos all around the world. And I'll say bye from here in Freiburg, Germany. I also got to finish my beer and my pretzel, so you have a good one. Bye.
He's so lucky.
Or guten Appetit, which is good appetite, or bon appetit, as you may know.
Bon appetit.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's so good. I was expecting, like he said, like so many sausages, because I think that's like the most common. when you think of Germany, I think it's impossible to think of like the sausages. Like it's so like there's so many varieties, and I do like the fact that it's like local and it's like depending on the part of the country that you're in. You're gonna find like different types of sausages. There like so many sausages, and also like so many cuts of meat, which I think is great. I didn't know that they were like such big fans of pork. I was maybe like I don't know why I thought they ate like more like beef. Like that's a cow, right? Like yeah, the beef and not as much as pork, but I think it does make sense. Like a lot of like pork I think is very popular there, so it does make a lot of sense. I love the fact that he did include beer and wine, because I think most people don't really realize that like German wine is so good, because of course they're so famous for their beer that I don't think people realize that it is like there's a lot of wine. There's a lot of like delicious wine, and I really do like I love German wine. So it's good that like a good shout out to like you can do like a wonderful German wine. I didn't know that you could like actually go on like wine tours, but I love it. I think that's a great like touristy like trip, maybe like go to the wine region and like taste so many wines and go to a lot of vineyards. I think that sounds like a great trip. And they're so lucky they were able to like do that for like the weekend and maybe go and try like so many wines. Like it looks like a really good like yeah, a weekend getaway maybe. I think like it's good. I think it's funny that again like he's like the Jaeger. I think it's more popular. I think all over the world. That's more like a college drink, or more just like yeah, it's a drink to like it's good. But I think it's more like you drink it like when you're partying and stuff like that. But I didn't know that it was an actual like it's a digestive, but it makes sense. It's like I don't know like amaretto or something. Like it's a liquor. It's a sweet like herbal liquor. So of course like that's the root of it. So of course it makes sense that for them it's a digestive, and apparently it does help, which good to know. But I do think it's funny. It's like yeah, I hadn't really realized. I thought in Germany they had Jaeger as another liquor. Like again, you're like going out and maybe you'll have like a shot of Jaeger and like a shot of tequila. But I didn't know that they actually like no, it's a digestive, like it's medicinal, and I didn't know that in Germany that was popular. But good to know. Of course, all the breads, like they're so good. Like the black rye bread. I know. I think they're most famous, or I think in my opinion, like the better ones are like the black breads. And it's I don't know. Like I think it's better. But they have like so many varieties as well. I think obviously like it's impossible to like go and try like German food without like the bread, because it's so delicious. And it's funny that they're like, no, Germans are a thing I used to like savory, like a savory breakfast. They're probably not as used to like unless like a sweet breakfast. I think it's more of an American thing that you want like something sweet, although I do know that it depends on the person. Like some people prefer like something like saltier in their breakfast, while others are like no, give me all the sweets. But I love it. It's so good. Now I'm hungry and I want to go like eat a pretzel or something. But that was great, and that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.